Hello everyone and welcome to the 12 Myths About Photography series. Within the next few videos, I'll be discussing really popular myths about photography that non-photographers often believe. But before we start, I would kindly ask you to check out other videos of the series in case you haven't seen them, or take a moment to subscribe since more videos will be coming your way very soon. So, 12 myths about photography. Or why not everything you hear about photographers is true. You know, photography is quite a popular domain, with smartphones that can take amazing pictures and people having access to photography more than ever. There are some myths that people believe, and I'll be trying to prove to you that those myths are not true. But before I do that, it's only right that I introduce myself, since you'll be hearing my voice quite often these weeks. So you should know who you're talking to, or who you're listening to in your case. So, who am I after all? Well, I am a photographer from Bulgaria, started taking pictures in 2009, and I'm self-taught, which means that whatever I learned through trial and error. It was a lot of trial and error, to be exact, so there are some things that people believe who really made me puzzled. That's why I decided to create those videos. So 9 years after I started, I'm currently a member of those professional photographic associations, and it has been a long journey. But it all started with a single shot that basically changed the way I thought of photography as a whole. By the way, that's me on the picture. So, this is the shot. To this date, this is one of my favorite shots, and it is not because it's one of my best, thank God it's not, or that it's so unique I can't reshoot it, or whatever else, but because this shot changed the way I perceived myself in the field of photography, changed the way I thought of photography as a whole, and basically, because of this shot, I am now a photographer. So basically, this is a very popular place in Bulgaria. This lake is below the highest peak on the Balkan Peninsula, and it's quite popular for photographers. Picture is taken in 2011 with a compact camera. I didn't really know what I was doing back then. So far, so good. But why did it change my life in the first place? Well, in 2011, some smart ass told me to start selling my work through stock agencies. For those who have no idea what a stock agency is, this is a website that sells photographs online. But in order to be able to sell your work online, you have to comply to really stringent technical standards. I mean, it's really hard because they have a lot of standards and your images should be quite well done technically. But I didn't know that. So I submitted this image and it got rejected. Then I had no idea why. I was a bit upset and I decided to ask. Who to ask? I was a member of a Bulgarian photographic community, a website, so I posted the image there and asked the people what's wrong with this image. Honestly expecting people to tell me what is really wrong with this image, because back at 2011 I didn't really understand what was the problem with that thing. So imagine my dismay when people started commenting not on the image itself, but on my own skills. And even started insulting me with things such as "you're a stupid wench and your place is in the kitchen cooking, so leave photography for the big boys. You have neither equipment nor the skills to be a good photographer, so don't even try." That wasn't exactly the best of experiences of my life, so for next 3 days I really cried my eyes out. Because I was only 19, really. I didn't know what was the problem back then. And then I decided to prove them wrong. By sheer stubbornness, I started self-teaching myself to be a better photographer, to use Photoshop and graphic editors. I even started saving up money from my university scholarship to buy a better camera. And I did. And I proved those people wrong. So, basically, what's actually wrong with this shot and why it got rejected? First of all, this means that the sky up there is burnt out, as we say in photographic language. This means that the sensor of the camera didn't see anything there. And this is not a good thing when you do an image, since those clouds are actually blank spots in the image. A second problem is here. Actually, the focus should have been on the mountain, but instead, since it was shot at a very open aperture, it went to the plants and the rock in the foreground, which is a big mistake. As I said, I had no idea what I was doing back then. So, to be entirely just, I would say that I wasn't that bad. It's just this image that was really sucking totally. This is the same place. The image is taken the same day with the same camera by me, just a few hours later. So as you see, the sun is behind my back. In the previous image, the sun was shining directly behind the mountain, which led to that awful sky. Here we have some beautiful reflections in the water. And basically this one is a much better image. But from this image to the images I create now was a long, long way. So you see, the transfer from this to this one, which is one of the most recent images I've produced for my project, Culture Crossroads, it was a long journey. And throughout that journey, I, learned a lot, let's say. And within the next few videos, I'll be trying to share some of the information with you. By the way, I'm not going to talk much about this image now, since I'm planning another video describing stories behind some of my most favorite images, so to say. So, having said all that, I want to wish you good luck, stay focused, and thank you for watching. See you next week.